In this video, I will show you how to create this minimalistic line and text animation in DaVinci Resolve. So let's begin. So right click and create a new timeline and just go with the default settings for now, and over here just drag in a Fusion composition. Right click, open in Fusion page, and from here you can go ahead and drag in this background node. Connect this with the media out and go right here and change the background to white. Now go over to image and unselect auto resolution, and from here just change the width to 1080 and the height to 1920. So we're just going to reverse that so that this is in a vertical mode. And now we're going to multiply the 1080 by using this static, multiply this by 2. So here you can see we have 2160. Do the same thing, but this time multiply 1920 by 4. Now right click and click on guides and click on show guides. Now from here you will get this guide that you can use for making the animation for the video. Add an merge node and drag in another background, and this time let's also drag in a polygon. Connect the polygon with the background, and right now we're just going to draw our shape. So use this guide right here from the bottom, then go right here and add in this line, click, and then go right here, add in another line, and from here you can just drag this to add a curve. So you can just make sure to make it straight and then go right here, right across this, and then add in another line. But right now you will see that this is not good. We need it in a straight line, so you can just select this, modify only, and then click on this linear, and this will allow you to get a straight line. Now go right here and click on this click append, and then from here you will just be able to make other points as well. So go right here and add in another point, drag this to add a curve just like we did before, and then right here we're going to drag in another curve, and this is basically just enabling us to create a pathway for our line to go. So let me just position this right here in the center, and this one also, let's just bring this between the two, and also for these two I'm going to bring them up a little bit. So here you can see this looks much more better now, and again you can just use these lines, these guidelines that we have, to make sure that everything is straight. Also let's select this point and make sure this is straight, then go right here, make sure this is straight too, and also on the line. So this is a manual process that you will need to do on your own, but let me just quickly do that. So we're done up till now, and let me also straighten up this point, but before we do that, let's just add in this point right here. Now again you're going to select the points and then just click on linear so that we also get another straight line. And basically this straight line is where we're going to add the text. So we're going to reveal the text right here. That's why we're adding these lines. And let me position them. So here you can see, using this line, these guidelines, it will make it easier for you to make sure that this is in a straight line. Now again we're going to add more points right here. Just do the same thing that we did before, and we're going to just create one once more, and right here at the top, as you can see, make sure there is a curve in all of these because we need to animate it in a curve format. And this will be the final one, the final line that we need at the top. And once again do the same thing, select these points by using the modify only, and then click on linear. So that's it. And now I'm just going to position them, make sure this is in a straight line. You can add in a curve as much as you want, as less as you want, that's up to you. So right here I'm just going to do that quickly. Okay, so we're done up till now, and you can see the lines is done. So just connect this background with the merge one. But here you will notice something, but before we do anything, just go over to polygon, and from here just change the border width to, let's say, 0.05, and here you can see it's not the same that we wanted. It has been changed. So the reason for that is because this background node in the image, as you can see, the resolution is not the same as the background one. So you can just copy the background one settings and right click on background 2 and then select base settings. So we will have the same settings once again. And from here you can just change the background color to black. So here you can see we have the lines done. Okay, so the reason that we are making it in this way, we're changing the resolution for these backgrounds, is because when we're going to zoom in, we're going to lose the quality unless we have this composition set at a very high resolution. So this is why we're going to change the resolution for now. And when we animate this, zoom this in and add some keyframes to show the movement of this line, then you will notice that why this was necessary. All right, so here you can see we're going to reduce the length right here. And this is going to be at the 0 frame. So right now, just change the length to 0.1. That's it. And let me just bring in the position. So we're just going to bring the position all the way to 0.016, and this can differ for you as well, because this is the settings or the keyframes. The points that I made are according to me. It of course is going to be different for you. So right now, as you can see, this is how it looks. So just set this at 0.01, the length at 0.01, and the position, change that to 0, and this will be right there at the 0th keyframe. So let's create a keyframe at position, then go over to 10 frames, and from here let's change the position, and we're just going to make it so that it just comes up to this position, this point right here, before it goes on into the curve. So right here, this looks fine, and let's go to 0, and at 10 we're going to create another keyframe at length, and then at 0 we're going to also change the length to 0. So here you can see this is how it looks. Now let's go over to 20 frames, and right now we're going to move the position. So from now we're just going to use this position to animate this. So let's just go right here and let's go over to 40, and from here we're just going to move this in. And the reason why I'm giving a more gap than the one that was at the curve is because we're going to have a text reveal animation going on right here. So it's better to have a more distance. So now let's go over to 50, and I'm going to move this point right here. And then let's go over to 60, move this point up to this position. And then again from this point to, let's say from 60, let's go over to 80 frames. And right here, we're just going to position this right here. And again, the same reason, because we need a text animation right here, the text reveal animation. Then at 90, let's move this right here. Right here. And then at 100 keyframes, let's go ahead and position this right here. And then finally at 115, let's go over to 115, and then just make sure that this is at the end. So all the way to 1, to position 1, this is where it's going to be. But now right here we're going to use the level to remove this at the end, all the way to the end, and just create a keyframe at level, change this to 0. Now let's go over to spline and click on this position and click on this zoom to fit. Then from here select all your points, right click, and then go ahead and select this ease, and then go right here and select in out cubic. So if we play this now, this is how it will look. So let's add in a multi-merge for the text now, and drag in this text, connect the text with the multi-merge, and from here let's just type in. And the font that I'm going to use is Montserrat at regular, and this is going to be the same font for all the text that I do. So let's change the color to black, and I'm going to change the position, bring this right here where we have the first line animation going on, the straight line animation. So where we have this straight line coming in, right here, as you can see, and you can use this line to position this text. Make sure to position this right beneath that line, or you can say right on that line. Let me just zoom in and make sure that this is straight, this is in that line position. So here you can see this is perfect. Now you can just see where this line is coming in, and from here we're going to add this right on animation. So right here at 27, we're going to add a keyframe right on at 0, and then go one frame ahead, and then add in this M and this O, and then move again frame ahead. Make sure you cover all these characters based on the line that is going on. So you can just do this manually. This is a very manual process. This will of course depend on you. That's why you don't have to follow the keyframes that I have. You can just see where it looks good for you. So here you can see this is how it looks. But now let's go over to shading, and from here we're just going to go back to this text at the position where it's going on, at where the right on is at 1. So right here, create a keyframe at 1, then go all the way to the start of that starting point of that right on, and then just change the opacity to 0. So this is how it will look. Now let's drag in another text, and we're just going to repeat the same process, but this time we're going to make sure that this is on the second line. So I will just quickly do this, but this is going to be the same process. Just use that right on and the opacity based on the text that you have. And finally, we're going to do the last text, the text at the top. We're going to do this for the final line as well. Just do the same thing, but you can just change the text, of course. What you're going to write, that depends on you. You can of course change that. That's up to you. Alright, so we're going to go back to the main timeline, and from here we're going to use this Fusion composition and zoom this in. So right now you can see this looks in a vertical format, although the main timeline resolution is 1920 by 1080. But for this Fusion composition, you already know that we changed the resolution in the background of the nodes. So that's why this is going to be much larger than the size of this timeline. So this is the reason we had the background aspect ratio set at a very high level, so that when we come back to the main timeline, we can zoom this in without losing the quality. So right now we're just going to zoom this in. Let's go with 4, or let's 5, or let me just zoom this in. So yeah, at 6, around 6, or let's say 6.3, this looks okay. And now we're just going to manually do the animation by using the position. So right now, as you can see, we have lost, the quality looks good, we haven't loosened the quality. Otherwise you would just lose the quality if you won't change the aspect ratio. So right now I'm just going to use this position at Y to go back to where it starts from. So here you can see this is where it starts from, and then right here it comes in. So we're just going to create a keyframe right around here at some point. So let's go all the way to the start, create a keyframe at this position, and let's move in some frames. And right here, before it starts to curve, let's create another keyframe at position, but don't change anything. And then let's move on to right here at the second point of the curve animation that we have. And from here, we're just going to change the position now. So move this down like this, and let's move ahead right here until this text reveal happens, and then again let's move in, let's move down, and then let me just go ahead and do this again. So basically this is the same process that I'm just going to repeat. All you need to do is just follow along the line and just animate the Y position according to where your line is at that moment. So here you can see I have done this, and this is how it looks. But there is one more thing you need to do. Just click right here so that you can access the keyframes, and right here click on this position and then click on this Y position so that you can see all your keyframes. So right here we're going to delete some extra keyframes. As you can see, I created some extra keyframes, but if you haven't done that, you don't need to delete them. So let me go right here and delete this. Select this one, or let's select this one, and then click on this. And again, this depends on you. You can select these keyframes accordingly, set these keyframes accordingly. but the additional keyframes, I'm just going to delete them. So there you have it. Here you can see this is how the animation looks. Now we have a very smooth animation, as you can see. But one more thing that you can do is, for example, if you want to add something more to these, you can say the line animation. For example, let's say we want to add a circle on that line. So what you can do is just add another merge node, copy this polygon and this background, Control C, and then unselect everything, and then Control V, and then you will have this. So you can just connect them with the merge tool, and then right here you will just get the same exact animation of that line. But with this one, we're going to change the settings in the polygon. So right here, I'm just going to unselect the solid, and I'm also going to change the border width to 0.01. And right here in the position, I'm just going to see where this is, and the length right here, I'm just going to set this to 0. So make sure the length is at 0, and right here you will notice that we have this circle. So we're just going to move this on top of that line, on the very start of that line, right here. So here you can see this looks good. And now we're just going to move ahead and do the same thing for all of this. But here you can see this is now, here you can see this is behind the line now. When we move ahead in the animations, you can see this is behind the line. So you will need to go over every single keyframe that we created when we were doing the length animation, the length keyframes, and you will just need to move the position right on top of it. So here you can see this works for me right here. So you need to do this for all these keyframes that we created for the position, and make sure that the circle that we have now is right there at the front of that line. So I will just quickly do this now. Alright, so right here I'm also going to change the level for this, so you can make sure to hide this right there at the end. So we have the circle animation done as well, and this is how it looks like all together. So this was it for this video. I hope you found this video useful, and I will see you in the next one.